Psalm 84 verse 7, it says, they go from strength to strength. Every one of them in Zion appeareth before God. So it says that anytime we appear before God in Zion, symbolic of the house of God, it says we are strengthened. Sometimes you can wonder what coming to church does for you. Sometimes you can go to the place, or you can get to the place where you wonder, why should you keep coming to church? They keep piling you with notes upon notes upon notes, sermon upon sermons, and the sermons are not even sometimes even repeated. And you can wonder. But here you see the supernatural power that coming to church has. The thing it does is that it causes us to go from strength to strength. It causes us to change our levels when it comes to strength. And in life, you need to be strong. Proverbs 24 verse 10? Proverbs 24 verse 10 says, if thou faint in the day of adversity, then thy strength is small. So you don't build strength just for building strength's sake, but you build strength for a day of adversity. The Bible says that man also does not know his time. Like the fishes that are caught in the cruel net, and like the birds that are taken in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. So keep coming to church regularly, even when it's raining and the weather looks like it's hazy and you can't tell what is going to happen. Your house will not flood by the grace of God. Anyway, last week, Sunday, I started a very interesting series titled Vital Lessons from Delilah the Philistine. Vital Lessons from Delilah the Philistine. I don't know why, since I was a child, all the stories you've heard about Delilah is only bad. But you see, if you read the Bible, just like reading any other book, and you are not open-minded, there are vital truths you can miss. If you read the Bible and you are even a racist, and you are thinking, maybe this God we are serving, he's a white God and you are black, you will not get the best out of what you are reading. The Bible says in Romans chapter 15 verse 4, it says, whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. When Paul was writing these words, there was no Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All there was from scrolls from Genesis to Malachi. So every story that has been written in the Old Testament has been written for our learning. And when it comes to learning, anytime you begin to discriminate, you can miss a vital lesson. You should never get to the place where you think that you can't learn from your children. You should never get to the place where you think that you can never learn from anybody around you. In fact, when you get to the place where you think that you know too much, it's actually a sign to you that you don't know anything. So the Bible says, I think that's 1 Corinthians 8:2. It says, if a man think he knoweth anything, it says he doesn't know it at all. And in life, you must be a learner to do well. So we are supposed to be lifetime students. That's why sometimes, even when you refuse to learn from people and to learn from the people around you, God begins to orchestrate circumstances to make you learn lessons by failing, by mistakes, and by your bitter experiences. And sometimes also your good experiences. So we must be ready to learn. And we are learning from Delilah. Not Delilah the Israelite, but Delilah the Philistine. Judges chapter 16, reading from the verse number 1. Judges 16, reading from the verse number 1. It says, then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her. And the two side posts, or and the two posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of an hill, which is before Hebron. Now, the thing about Samson is that, Samson was born with only one main purpose. The main purpose for which Samson was born was that through him, God would begin to defeat the Philistines for the children of Israel. That was the purpose for which he was born. And amazingly, to fulfill that purpose, God put a desire for Philistine women into the heart of Samson. Can you imagine? So if you were to be living in the days of Samson, you can say that Samson is a corrupt man of God. He's not a serious man of God. Samson is not godly. There is something wrong with him. So here he goes to Gaza, and when he goes to Gaza, he sees a prostitute there. And then he falls in love with the prostitute. And then he sleeps with the prostitute. And when he sleeps with the prostitute, the people were happy that he has come there. So they told everybody, they gathered together, they surrounded the city, they said, we'll be quiet the whole night. In the morning when it is day, we will kill him. And he too, he lay all the night, or till midnight. And then in the night, he arose. He took the doors of the gates of the city and the two posts. Can you imagine that? This one, even your own house with the small pillars, even for you to carry it, I don't think it's an easy thing. And then this one, they were the gates of a city. And Samson, he took them with the two posts and went away with them, with the iron rods. When he took it, the iron rods also came out the ground. That's how strong the man was. And he put them upon his shoulders. He didn't go descend into a valley. He climbed the mountain with them to show that the power that he had was a supernatural power. So you could be criticizing Samson if you were there at the time and say that Samson was a very bad guy. But listen, God was using his weaknesses to forward his agenda. That is how come it is very dangerous to judge anything before the time. Whenever you are judging anything before the time, you can be making a mistake. Sometimes you can see somebody fall, make a mistake, and enter into some sin. I'm not saying that use this as a license to go and say that, hey, we are going to make mistakes so that God will use it to forward his agenda. Is God going to use it to deliver Israel from the hands of the Philistines? No. But what I'm saying is that it is dangerous for us to be judging things before the time. Never you get to the place and say that this person, I don't think she will go to heaven. This person, I don't think that he will go to heaven. You are not God. You are not in the books of God. You don't know how God is going to judge each and every one of us. Neither can you know how your personal judgment will also go. And so we need to understand that when it comes to God, understand that you can never understand the mind of God. You can never know who God is. You can never understand his thinking and the way he does the things he does. We are in verse 4. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines, they came up unto her, and they said unto her, entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means